Hey YouTube, John here. I wanted to go over 10-ish more items that I would recommend picking up before Chinese spy balloons or inflation, whatever your flavor of craziness is. So stay tuned. Hey, editor dude, start the intro.
Is you talking about me? All right, let's start.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. If you're first time here, do me a favor and hit the like button or subscribe or both if you're super cool. Anyway, the cool thing about this list is a lot of these were recommended by you, the viewer. So I definitely appreciate that and wanted to go ahead and get the list started. So let's do this. All right, so first up on the list is spare parts for pews. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that. But also things like bolt carrier groups, charging handles, anything that gets a little bit of wear and tear. I would go ahead and have multiple of those ready to just drop in and ready to go. Just make sure that they work for your pew of choice. It's great to have those, especially if you have a group that runs similar style platforms. Having that interchangeability is very important. So let's move on. Next, flypaper and repellent. I mean, down here it gets kind of gross, and there's a lot of bugs around, especially if you're out in the woods or you're out in your property doing things. So having repellent is huge. It's vital. I carry some in my bug out bag. I carry some in my backpacking bag. All of it. It's very important, mostly for comfort. But a lot of bugs can carry diseases too. At the same time, sanitation might be an issue if the balloon goes up, if the world ends. So flypaper, it's great, especially if you have compost piles that aren't very far away from where you live. Those bugs will migrate over. So fly ribbon, it will save you some serious frustration. Rope. I can't tell you how much on the homestead, how much rope I actually use. It's pretty immense. I mean, from just regular cordage to paracord to bank line. I think it all has great specific purposes. I keep some in my bug out bag. I'm using it constantly to tie things open or reattach things and lash things. So I definitely recommend it. It's going to keep going up in price because it's going to cost more to make, especially with supply chain shortages. So, rope. Good call. All right, food fatigue is a real issue. If you've ever just chowed down on rice and beans for 2 weeks straight, you're probably going to look for a little different flavor. So I recommend spices, sauces. Those are huge. A lot of people kind of don't talk much about them, but they're great. They have a lot of health benefits as well, depending on which ones you're using. If you're using turmeric and curcumin, it's a very beneficial spice for you. So mix up your meals with a little bit of spices and sauces. Another cool thing, if you're ever having to eat something that's really gross, but you can't waste it, or you don't want to waste it, throwing some hot sauce on might get you through it. So this one's really neat in a very nerdy prepper way. Soap. I stock a lot of soap. Not just soap, but detergent, which you can make your own with said soaps. But you think about it, if the world ever ends, it's going to be dirty. It's going to be very messy. So you're probably going to be out using your hands a lot more often. And to prevent diseases from spreading to you or someone else, having that hygiene is great. Being able to clean things, being able to clean clothes, that's going to be huge. Also, the prices on these are just going to continue to go up. So if you're able to buy them now and stock up on them, you'll save yourself some money in the long run, even if the apocalypse doesn't happen. So a lot of people mention screws and nails. Those are huge. Absolutely recommend those. In addition, I'd recommend adhesives. Maybe not as much, but they have specific uses which could be a little more beneficial. For example, shoe goo is great for shoe repairs, which I don't know if you know many cobblers. I don't. Shoe goo will help get you through until you can find that next pair of shoes. Wood glue is great, super glue, and they just have a ton of uses. Highly recommending picking up adhesives while you still can. And let's move on to the next one. So, as you can probably tell, I am very prone to sun exposure and sunburn, sun poisoning. So I recommend sunscreen. I stock up on as much of it as I can. I think that there are certain brands that make triple-digit SPF, which I don't really think works. I need to delve into the research on that. But just even having, the little handy sticks that you can throw in bags, very important. Keep one of these in my bug out bag just because that's going to give me something to help me continue moving. If I'm having to travel on foot and I have a sunburn, I'm going to be seriously limited in my abilities. So I want to keep myself performing in tip-top shape. So, sunscreen, grab it. You've stocked all of those cans with pull tops, but then you find ones that don't have pull tops. Buying a couple extra of these might help. Can openers, they're great. I have some P38s and some P51s somewhere. They're small, they're handy, they're great for bug out bags if you need to open cans on the move. Not really a fan of their mechanism because it does take a while for you to be able to open them. So I recommend these, just cheap ones. Let's move on. Aluminum foil. Now you might remember grandmas or great-grandmas during the Depression, they would save aluminum foil because it was kind of expensive. It's not something that's simple to produce, especially if the balloon goes up. So it's something I highly recommend because you can do a lot with it. There's a lot of different qualities that you can use. It's not just for cooking. Stock up on it, save some money, fight inflation with it. Go get yourself some aluminum foil. So the balloon has gone up, and you crack open your survival bucket of whatever food, something probably super processed or whatever, and you're chowing down. About an hour later, you're going to need some of these antacids. I mean, they're cheap, they're plentiful. It's easy to make some on your own, but these are going to taste a little bit better. They store fairly well, and they'll help you feel a lot better because no one likes heartburn, especially when the world's ending. So like I mentioned with soap, man, if the world ever ends, it's going to be very dirty and very messy. So it's important to have hygiene products. And I'm not just talking about deodorant. That might not be necessary. Everyone's going to be a little stinky. But things that cure antifungal, foot powder, things, athlete's foot, all of that's going to be huge. In addition to nail clippers, being able to clean underneath your nails because there's going to be a lot of gross things living underneath there. So keeping all of those nice and clean might save you a trip to a field hospital. A lot of people are fans of fuel stabilizers such as Sta-Bil. And I like Sta-Bil fairly well. It works. Though my favorite is actually from Startron. It's enzyme treatment. No, I'm not paid by them. But this one bottle treats 128 gallons of gas. You go by the cap, and it says one cap treats 1.6 gallons. That's pretty fantastic. It's amazing. And I think it goes up to 2 years. Don't quote me on that. Do your research. But I think it's definitely something to check out as an alternative to Sta-Bil. I think it's around the same price as well. So, check it out. What did I miss? What can we add to this list and make it growing and help the community itself? Go ahead and comment below. And also subscribing is a super cool option. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so I definitely appreciate it. And that's it. That's all I've got. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace.